Well, we're going to finish today, hopefully, the rest of the teacup, which is the gold trim, all of the gold, anywhere there's gold. I am going to be using yellow ochre or raw sienna, doesn't matter which one. I'm using yellow ochre, cadmium yellow light, that's for the lightest light, and burnt umber for the darks. And I'm going to be using white. So I will squeeze white on the palette when it's time. So for now, I'm going to, again, go back, take yellow ochre, a bit of burnt umber in it, and prepare the dark areas. And if I, when I'm looking at the, when I look at the reference in here, this area here is quite dark. So I can see that it will take a bit more of burnt umber in here. I've prepared this before. I have a layer of color. And I think it was the same. I can't remember, but it's just burnt umber and yellow ochre. Now this teacup is scalloped a bit. All the rims has a bit of a movement. I will try to get that movement going, but if it doesn't happen, then I'm just going to leave it simple. I think sometimes I need a bit of more water in my color. So I'm just mixing both yellow ochre and burnt umber. The actual canvas is not really cooperating with the brush. It's a bit too rough. So my control of the brush is not happening because of the roughness of the canvas. That's why I was mentioning that maybe I will be able to do the scalloped edge. It's good. It's a good layer for the darks. So I'm going to darken this area here more, because really this part is where it turns in the side of the handle. So it's darker. I don't need to darken the rest, just where I see darks on the reference. This part is quite light right here. Perfect. Okay, a little bit more. I need to wet my brush and a bit more darks in here. Awesome. All right. Let's go to now. This is good. Now let's go to just yellow ochre and clean up this before I start highlighting. And just layer of clean yellow ochre. I'm going to let it dry for a minute. Right, so now let's take yellow ochre and cadmium yellow light. And just try to highlight down here a bit. Making sure that you see more yellow ochre than cadmium yellow light. Again, especially when it goes into this area, it should be dark. It should be more yellow ochre. This is the whole thing about doing a gold reflection or any gold, is that every little corner will have a different kind of value or color. It's not the same from here to here. Even if you look at if you look carefully at the reference, you will see that this part is slightly lighter than this part here. Slightly, very slight. Okay, now, again, let's add cadmium yellow light to yellow ochre a bit, very, very small amount this time. It's less than here. And push this line up all the way. So it doesn't look like it's disconnected. Again, all the way. This is what's going to make it look really interesting, is that those highlights that we're putting on right now. I'm gonna wait for it to dry, and if it's too yellow, I'm gonna make it, which is great, because sometimes that's what I like to do. I like to highlight this, and then if it's too highlighted, I'll go back and add a bit of yellow ochre over. So it will look, I could see the highlight, but it's a lighter yellow ochre, more like a glaze on top. Okay, need to go back to darks a bit now, back and forth between dark and light, because there's a lot of play of color in here. So I have a really, really dark corner right here. So just burnt umber, only burnt umber. There, right here. I'm gonna bring the highlight closer to me, the reference closer, so I can see what I'm doing. And I like to paint what I see in a situation like this. There's no guessing, it's there. I'm seeing actually more red in here in the reference. Anyway, let's do, I'm gonna bring some cadmium red light, because this is more like an orangey color. So I'm gonna mix cadmium red light with yellow ochre in this area. It's more on the red orangey color over here. Earthy orange. Push it. This is more yellow and cadmium because there's a strong highlight in here. Okay, it's good. A lot of play of colors in here, a lot. Okay. Cadmium red with yellow ochre. Let's bring some cadmium red, touch of cadmium red into burnt umber, and then again put a nice. It will take a while to get this going. It's not going to happen right away. This is cadmium red with burnt umber. Perfect. It's working out very well. Let's put some here. Okay, and let's go back. Pick up yellow ochre. Again, a touch of yellow in it. I like this area. Right here. A bit here. These are more like dots. Now, I'm going to take cadmium red light with yellow ochre, put it right there. Because what you want to see is many kind of different layers or different colors happening in here in small areas. And that's what's going to make it look like it's shiny, because the light is bouncing off. Okay, I'm going to take burnt umber, increase the amount of dark in here, more burnt umber. And you'll see in a minute, as soon as I start putting those strong lights, it will look great. Darken this a bit more because it goes in. This is the darkest part in here. This is good. I'm not going to touch it. Now, I'm going to go back and make sure that this is, okay, this is softer. I'm going to take cadmium red light, mix this cadmium red light with a bit of burnt umber, and come here and kind of soften the transition between dark and light. So I had before a strong line. I do need that strong line still there, but I'm going to soften it a bit. Okay. Right, absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy it's working out. A little bit of darks in here. So when I say darks, that's burnt umber. I'll take more burnt umber, put it in here and darken this. Perfect, lovely. Now we can move to the fun part. It's white, titanium white. I'm using titanium white because titanium white is strong. Any other white is not going to give me a strong highlight. Titanium white. It's opaque and it's strong and it's perfect. Now, titanium white, I'm going to take with titanium white yellow ochre. Wipe my brush. This is the strongest highlights. Now put one here and another one right here. And I will increase the highlight in a minute. I like to start very soft, which is titanium white and yellow ochre. Just put another one right here. The more highlights we have, the nicer it looks. And then let's take the same color, run it down here, wider, right there. Now, I'm going to soften this a bit more here because it was too light. The strong white is down here. And again, let's take the white. Now increase the amount of white. I'm still mixing it with yellow ochre, but more white. And I'm gonna come here. Okay, a little bit more of yellow for the lighter part down here. Good. Okay, now let's move on. Let this dry, settle, and then we'll go back to it if it needs to be adjusted. Now, this part has a lot of highlights. So I am going to go back first to my wider brush, round. And I'm going to start, this is like gold. Now you can use gold if you have gold acrylic, you can use it. We can do that. But the gold acrylic doesn't have shadows and highlights. So it's just flat. It sits there. You could see it easily if you turn your canvas around. Okay, this is too gold. This is too yellow. I'm mixing yellow ochre and cadmium yellow light, but it's turning out to be too gold. So what I did is I increased the amount of yellow ochre in here. I like that. I like that the color underneath that we put, the yellow ochre that we put, is showing through. So it's making my second yellow, the second layer, darker. Okay, let's do that. Let's take orange, put it back in yellow ochre, maybe a bit of burnt umber. Come here, push this out to mix it, to blend it with the highlight. And here we go. Let's take this highlighted area, or darks, I should say dark. It's actually burnt umber and red, and just push this burnt umber down here to get a darker base. This is turn out to be a bit too red, this part, but that's okay. I'll put burnt umber over. That's burnt umber right here, what I'm putting at this area here. Burnt umber, bit of red. And let's do this here too. There's a bit more burnt umber, just to soften this red. Okay, I need water here. It's just getting dry. Okay, now wipe my brush, clean it very well. Take cadmium yellow light with my yellow ochre and put a bit of more highlights on this side. A bit right here. There's a strong highlight in here. So we'll start slowly with the strong highlight. And then now I'm going to take white. My brush has cadmium yellow light and yellow ochre on it. I'm just adding white to it. Nice. And here, touch. Another one here, wider. Actually, I will do that in a minute. Let's highlight a bit more the underneath a cup. So this is cadmium, this light. I'm going to highlight this a bit. So I'm taking cadmium yellow light and yellow ochre, and I'm adding a touch of the white that has been mixed with touch, very small amount. This shouldn't look lighter. This part I'm putting here shouldn't look like lighter than this. Soften those edges a bit. Nice. Now let's deal with this part. The dark came out too much, so I'm going to go back with yellow ochre. And my yellow ochre has a bit of touch, very small amount of red. It's actually, I didn't put it on purpose, it's there. Okay. Push this back. My canvas is drying, my color is drying fast. So I have to keep on adjusting my dark, lights and darks. Okay, that's good. Just trying to have a nice transition of color. Try to soften this area, the transition, if possible. If not, that's okay. All right, I think that's good. We're good. Right, since I'm doing this right now and I have the right brush, I'm going to take my cadmium yellow light, mix it with, again, my yellow ochre, and I'm going to try to do some of the rim here. This is going to be really, really kind of not easy. Let's take white and add it to my yellow ochre. I think it'll be better. Right. Oh, wow, that's too yellowy. Yellow ochre, more yellow ochre and white in here. I don't see yellow, but you know what? It doesn't matter. As long as we have a highlight, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. Okay, we don't have a lot of highlight in here. Now, I'm going to highlight the same way, yellow ochre, bit of white. Okay, let's forget about the yellow now. This area here. Outside of the rim, the outer part of the rim. Because the highlights or the light is hitting this rim and it's making it look lighter. The rim is lighter where the light is coming from. Okay, good. Wait for it to dry. And if it dries too dark, then I will highlight it again. Right, so this is the same right here. I can see the softness of the rim right there. Perfect. That looks good. Okay, let's take burnt umber, touch of, put some yellow ochre in it, wet my brush, and put some dark in here. Now, since I have white, a bit of, okay, I have white, which is great. And I can see in the reflection in the saucer right there that it has a bit of yellow in it. That's the reflection of this yellow over here. So it's perfect. I'm going to take white and put some yellow ochre in my white. Make sure it's not my brush, my color is not too heavy. It will dry darker. It should dry darker because it's like more like a glaze and it's over a dark area right here. And it doesn't have to be exactly the same. So just give it a hint. All of this is very soft ceramic, so it's delicate. White, just white. And white here, and I think this white needs to be a little bit more yellowy, so I'm going to put a bit of a bit of this color in here. Right, now again, down here. You see, okay, let me go and fix this. This is white with yellow ochre. And I'm gonna be doing the same thing here. It's a soft glaze. Perfect. I'm going to turn this, or actually I'll just do that. Okay, yellow ochre. Oh, yellow ochre and yellow ochre, burnt umber, a bit of red. More yellow ochre than burnt umber and red. Okay, put some water. Now, from the back here, which we're not going to see too much of that, but I'm going to start my edge. This is really dark in here, so I'm going to increase the amount of burnt umber. In. That's the scallop part. Round. All right, and it's in again. It's kind of in again. Let's do that. The scalloped area is right here because I can tell it's really actually here. So that's a good guideline. I'm going to push that scalloped area kind of up like this. You know, in this type of painting where there's reflection, you have to look at every little corner, and because the light is going to change everything. From here to here, it will be a strong change of color. Right, this is good. Excellent. Now, I'll take yellow ochre, put some white in my yellow ochre. I am not cleaning my brush, don't have to. Just wiping it. And I'm gonna try to highlight this with strong light, but it's okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be strong the first time. That's yellow ochre and white. And again, another one here. And then I will increase slowly the highlight. It's like a test right now. I'm testing it. Wow, this is lighter. This is white in here. There is white. A bit more white in here. It will dry darker, but we'll see. This is more white now. That is really a strong white that goes all the way in, and then it disappears, and then it comes out again. Soft. So soft. Left side doesn't need much. I don't think we need to do anything there because it's really in the dark. All right, that's beautiful. Very, very good. Okay. I would probably put another layer over here, just deep, make those colors deeper in here and richer, because that's kind of right now, they're not rich enough. Oh, so I'm trying to mix more of the burnt umber with my yellow ochre. Technically, I should put some burnt umber down here because that's darker at the, at the edge. But I mean, really, it is like that. If you look at it carefully, you look at the edge right here, you will see that this part down here is darker. But really, if it, oh, that's too dark. Okay, let's go back. Add yellow ochre, fix it. All right, let's do that. No problem, no problem. You shouldn't panic. This is just paint. We should be controlling it, not the paint controlling us. So again, let's take yellow ochre. I clean my brush. Just yellow ochre. Let's just try with yellow ochre only. It should be okay. I'm gonna go over this strong white a bit. Right, yellow ochre again here. Okay, so basically we're good for this part. Shouldn't fiddle with it too much. What we should be doing, let me take, this is drying, this part. I'm gonna increase the amount of the burnt umber in here, just in here. So this is what makes it, again, what makes it really interesting, and it looks like it looks like a real kind of shiny, is when you put too many, not too many, but you pay attention to the light bouncing off the actual handle. So in this area, if I have highlighted tiny bit of a lighter down here, because this can't be, if we have something shiny, this cannot be the same, all of this. You should have some kind of a play of light in here. And the more you put these little ones, little details, the nicer it looks. I'm gonna take raw burnt umber, push my burnt umber a bit down. And that looks, again, this is more like a glaze. Okay, good. Right, now, what I would do is I would paint the background again, clean it up well. Let's see, so I have black gesso. So let's see if I take bit of burnt umber and I put it on top. Oh, that is lovely. That is perfect. That will just kind of make all of the color in here, which is black, it makes it softer, way softer than just black. The cup is a soft, warm bunch of warm colors. So if I take a glaze, and I mean why I'm saying glaze, it's over black, right? So if we take a glaze, if we make the burnt umber as a glaze, it will dry dark. And even if it doesn't dry dark, that's okay. It doesn't have to be black, as long as we have a beautiful coffee color. So if it is, let's say it's glaze and it's over, I'm putting it over black just so when it dries, when the brown color is dry, it will dry darker because it's a glaze. The black will take over, but it will change it into a beautiful, deep, deep brown. Okay, so this is what I would do. Then once this is done, I will take my brush. I will go back to my splashes in here. I will soften this. It doesn't have to be the same color. We could take just brown and go in like glaze, and go in and just kind of glaze this area here a bit. So it's not too white. Honestly, it's really like a real glaze, just a. Now I can take my brush and splash my color, but I don't think I can control where the splash is going to go. And this is like a controlled kind of brush stroke in here. So this splashing in here is controlled. It's like, you know, it's there, but it's on it has a shape. Again, I am mixing right now burnt umber with burnt umber and white, and it's a glaze because I want this to be, I don't want all of the splashing to be the same opacity or consistency. Some of it will be more transparent. Okay, now again, yeah, burnt umber. I'm going to take white, put white in my burnt umber, glaze, meaning I'm adding water. That's what I mean when I glaze. I dip my brush in water and wipe it, come here and start adding little but I would do this once the background is done and it's dry, and then I go in with these splashes of colors that I'm putting and add some of these details in here right now. It will look much better once it's done. So that's what I would do. Finish the background first and then just, you know, play around with my glaze of the splashing of the milk. I don't want to go over this and work on it too much because I haven't done the splashing. Now, in this area, right here on the left, this is not controlled. It could be, I could easily control it, meaning I would take my brush and then just put little dots around. And it doesn't have to be exactly the same. And just kind of dots, and then straight line, like not straight, I mean line, and then dots. So there's no need to get a brush and then go like, because it's going to splash everywhere. So just kind of take your brush, round brush, and just a small one, and just put some kind of dots around, and no one's going to compare the reference to what we're doing here. Right. Okay. I will post this done. And if this is not clear, once you get here, it's not clear, please let me know, because I mean, I haven't done, like I said, I haven't done the background yet. So I don't want to work on this too much, and then I have to, cover it when I start working on the background. But this is what I'm going to be doing, like this. I will go back to it, put the first layer. Some of these dots will be just the way they are, and some of them I will increase the amount of paint over. Just play around with this, really kind of very soft. Try to paint what you see in here. Okay. The cubes are the same, both of them. Like I did this, I think I have it done. If it's not, I'll show you in class before we start the new project. This one's going to be done the same way like that one here. So I think the first layer I added burnt umber and ultramarine violet, white. And then I went in and I slowly started the second layer with, I think I see burnt umber in here with white. And then, looking at the reference, I would increase the amount of light in certain areas in here. And then just at the end, when I'm done, I would just add dots of white. And both of them are the same technique. Just keep in mind when you're looking at this, try to look at the play of color, the light. So this part is a bit lighter right here. This is lighter first, hitting here, lighter, medium, dark. So, and there's no sharp edge on that one. This one has a sharp edge. This one doesn't have a sharp edge.